How much
his openness with being horrible was a little refreshing, but obviously
it's worn pretty thin now.
Yeah,
they're
very
still
much.
somehow denying it,
Yeah.
denying that they supplied it.
Well, I'm at least.
Because they can't. They can't. They're invested in it. Like, you've backed this guy this far. Can you really admit that you were wrong all along?
Oh, admitting you're wrong is another thing. That's not possible.
Yeah.
Well, no, especially since you're now going to get fact checked on Twitter, which once again is
Which,
amazing.
yeah, you know what? If Trump never said anything, not one fucking word, if this didn't turn into a story, I bet you Twitter would fact check him less than 5% of the time. Like, if this wasn't news.
You're saying that one fact check would have just been a blip.
Yeah, and I mean, he lies all the time.
Yeah.
I bet you they would only tackle less than 5% of those lies.
And he retweets like white nationalist conspiracy theorists as like, oh, some people are saying, look at this. Oh, that guy that has a swastika on his page.
And now that it has become a story, I bet you it's gonna be a little bit better, but it's not gonna be like fucking Twitter's gonna go after everything he says.
Not at all.
First off, you
Bottom
can't,
line is
right? Like,
money.
he won't shut the fuck up. So, like, as you're debunking one thing, he's saying 10 more lies.
Fucked up on Adderall, sitting on his toilet tweeting at the middle of the night. Come on.
No, hydroxychloroquine, Matt. Remember?
Oh, right, you're right. Right.
That's how he's staying safe away from COVID. And are you really telling me that Joe Scarborough didn't kill his mistress?
He does have the cold, dead eyes of a murderer.
See, I'm still working on
Phrenology.
this theory.
Look at the phrenology, the shape of his head.
I'm working on this theory that Trump is really 3 aliens in a sealed suit that just happens to look like an old man with orange skin and disgusting pink eyelids. And that's the reason why he doesn't get COVID. That's also the reason why he breathes hydroxychloroquine.
By the way, I kind of come up to the opinion that he probably isn't taking hydroxychloroquine. He's just saying that because he lies all the time. He's just saying that to boost up the cells, and he's like, I'm right. Look, I'm perfectly fine. I have COVID, and I've been taking this shit.
I mean,
when
he
he's
has
like,
a very small stake in the company that creates it, so everything's been
there you
fine.
go. No.
Well, anyway, so I mean, we used to say the world is going to hell, but now the world is clearly on fire.
The fucking Mayans, they were so close. They were so close.
Yeah, they were only off by 7 years, of course.
They had some
8 years.
sacrificial blood on the calendar, and they fucked it up somehow. They're like, oh man, I thought that was a 3. That was actually a 7.
Yeah,
Anyway,
What? Yeah.
I was trying to transition us to talking about the riots.
Yeah. Well, no, I was actually going to say that right now it's I'm like watching that stuff on the news like late at night, and it reminds me so much of the 90s with the Rodney King riots. And it's like it's kind of like it follows the same structure. You finally have this boiling point. You finally have this injustice on Black America has to involve with the police. These police are acquitted, so it just finally reaches its tipping point, and everyone riots out in the street and burns shit down and all that. And it's like I feel like it's the same thing with this. I mean, there's just been so much injustice in terms of cops killing African Americans that you literally now have it on tape, where it was on tape before, but you have it specifically on tape with this guy sitting on guy's neck as he's like begging for his life, not doing anything for 8 minutes, and he just gets fired, and then here you go.
He's actually
like the whole
he got
thing
arrested
all
today.
over again.
He got arrested.
Yeah, I know.
Today.
Yeah, he finally got arrested, but he should have been arrested.
Did you hear they used to work together at the same nightclub?
Yeah. Both of them did security together, right?
Yeah, they might have known each other. This might have been like cold-blooded murder.
Yeah, it might have been first-degree murder.
Yeah. Well, I said was
I would still say even at 3rd degree that was cold-blooded.
Yeah, but I mean the prosecutor, I don't know if it's a DA, was saying that they decided 3rd degree because there's a higher likelihood that they'll convict on that. They wanted to make sure that they got him.
I'm going to be really stupid. What's the difference between 1st degree and 3rd degree murder?
Premeditated.
Well, the difference between 1st degree and 2nd degree is premeditated. But one thing I was reading today, and I'm not sure if I've got all the details, they're equating 3rd degree murder with manslaughter, and I think it's just a difference between the states.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Manslaughter sounds terrible. Shouldn't that be worse?
That was another Seinfeld joke.
God damn it! I knew I heard it somewhere.
George Costanza, literally the slaughter of a man.
Yeah, that sounds awful. What should 1st degree murder be called then?
No, destruction of man.
Life fucking. Oh man,
I fucked
we're gonna try you for manslaughter. We got you for life fucking.
Yeah, so I think the difference between first degree and second degree is premeditated, right? Did you go to the place intent on killing this person?
Yeah.
Second degree would be like, oh, there was an altercation and then I killed him, but I did want to kill him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then manslaughter is more like, I killed him, but like, that wasn't really my intention.
So I mean, they got him for third degree, but like, if when the trial happens, like all that shit about the nightclub's gonna come up. So can they change that to second degree?
I don't know.
Was it the initial charge is manslaughter, and that's what they have to go with? Yeah, I don't know. I
Can't
mean,
they charge him for both? Can't they prosecute him in second degree, but then also give him a third degree man, just in case if
I guess
he doesn't get charged for the second
whatever
degree?
how many counts of murder they get. Yeah, I guess that would be the thing because they could actually they may. I mean, if they knew each other, if someone comes forward, this is all hypothetical.
Yeah.
I'm doing my Alex Jones like conspiracy shit. So they knew each other, and then
At what point
had a
did the
girl.
water turn them
Apparently,
gay?
there was the
I'm not saying they knew each other, but what if they did?
but I mean, the trial could. This is just going to be ugly for a really long time. Like,
So, like,
it's crazy.
that's a really good question, and I wish I knew the answer, because you can't charge someone with multiple counts of murder if they've just murdered one person, right? And so I don't think you can charge them with both first degree and second degree at the same time, because that would be two different counts of murder.
Yeah, that's true.
But why do they say he was guilty of whatever counts of? I mean, there's different facets of I don't know. Any of our listeners know? Please enlighten us because we're stupid.
Just call
They
in.
sound like
Yeah.
fights over here.
No,
Someone's like, "Oh God, shut up, you moron!"
well, like
Or
when
I'm going to first degree murder you.
so imagine
manslaughter.
Imagine a case where somebody's driving a car and there's three other people in the car, and the guy driving the car crashes the car in order to kill one of the people in the car, right? So that would be 1 count of murder, 2 counts of manslaughter.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Accidentally killed somebody. Okay, gotcha.
So when you talk about people being charged with multiple counts of murder, I talk with my hands. It's a Latin thing. I'm surprised you don't.
No, I'm fucking with you.
When you talk about people being charged with multiple counts of murder, I'm pretty sure they've murdered multiple people. Like O.J. Simpson was charged with 2 counts of murder because
Well, two first count. Yeah.
he murdered Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown.
Well, actually, I
just-
don't know if Ron Goldman was first degree murder. I think that was probably second degree murder. His intent was to kill Nicole Brown, but he just ended up killing Ron Goldman.
Okay,
because he just
I don't know
happened to
what
be there.
universe you guys are from, but like acquitted. I mean, you guys are like fucking with an innocent man. So
Hey, conspiracy theory over
All
here.
right. Yeah, we should probably
I just want to
veer
like
this
kind of
conversation back into realms that we know what the fuck we're talking about.
right. Yeah.
Are you telling me that
My next question was about astrophysics. So fuck. I guess we'll stop. We'll stop
Yeah.
there.
It's just I don't know. I don't know if you guys have the same sentiment or mentality towards this, kind of equating these riots to what happened with the Rodney King riots. I mean, it's just the first thing that I thought of.
Yeah,
when I
this
started
is kind
saying
of
it.
different.
I'm
No.
There's
Like,
white
it
people
makes perfect
rioting, yeah.
sense. And during the Rodney King riots, they were equating them with the Watts riots.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just, but I mean, the whole thing is just like it hurts. There's like no winners. Like
Yeah.
it's just like there's gonna be that horrible footage forever of that man begging for his life and getting choked out, and that's gonna be on every left wing feed. And then right wing media in 45 to 50% of the country is going to watch people loot a Target and set a police precinct on fire, and they're going to focus on that. So it's just it makes my stomach hurt. Like it's just everything. There's no winners here. I mean,
So-
not that there ever is in American politics.
Is there a lesson we can take away from this?
Well, peaceful protests don't get you anywhere, but nothing. I don't know. Fuck it. I don't know.
Well,
Oh, yes.
it only takes a couple of bad apples within a protest, though, to actually incite a riot. I mean, I think that's what a lot of videos I was watching on Facebook is that there were these demonstrations after everything in Minnesota were supposed to be peaceful and just people marching in the streets, but then you have just these couple of bad apples who decided to pick up a rock and throw it at a cop car, or throw it out a window at an auto zone and just break it, and then it just kind of
I mean,
mass hysteria that's
No.
just incites everyone else to do
No,
it.
look, remember the protests that happened right after Trump was inaugurated. There were black bloc guys going out there busting windows of Starbucks. That didn't turn into a riot, right? And I'm not being racist here. I'm not saying like, oh, it was the white people, so it was all peaceful. No, there was a lot more anger. This fucking riot was earned by this city.
Yeah.
They're in a situation where people have been oppressed for too long and they haven't seen justice for too long and they're lashing out, and it makes perfect fucking sense. So it's not that it only takes a couple bad apples to turn a protest into a riot. It takes that fucking protest already being a powder keg.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know. I mean, I guess what can come of this? What are we hoping comes of this? More police reform, because we've had a lot, but I mean, we got body cams finally.
Which they turn off.
The body cams that was released of the murder has one guy, the cop, who was actually facing the wrong direction. What a shocker. I don't know. I mean, I won't say any names, but we all know a person that is one of the most racist people that we've ever met that became a cop.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's built into the structure of policing. Like, it's super easy for racists to become police officers because this hierarchy, this fucking assumption that we are better than them, that there's this social strata, it's something that is built into the system. Cops are better than civilians. Fucking, politicians.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the Looney Tunes like cartoon thing. Like you wear a different hat and you become so much. Your ego gets inflated and you become a different person. Wearing that uniform and patrolling around. I mean, come on. But at the same time, little devil's advocate. If you're a cop and you're patrolling just the worst fucking neighborhoods, that's all you see. That's all you know day in and day out. That's gonna fuck with your head, man. I mean,
Yeah.
even if there are like socioeconomic factors that are causing this horrible neighborhood.
Well,
I don't know, man. I mean, there's cops that go crazy because, I mean, you're seeing just the worst shades of humanity, and it makes you a terrible person. Like, I mean, how can it not?
But there's departments, there's organizations to help those cops get through those type of issues,
There's also organizations to help those neighborhoods, right? Like, you don't always have to call the cops for a domestic disturbance. You know what I mean? But also, a lot of that would be solved if cops were policing the communities they live in.
You're going to get a bunch of cops from the ghetto?
Yeah. People do that anyway. They police their own neighborhoods.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense because you're bringing in cops who understand the people who live there and probably know the people who live there. I mean, you might have to worry about kind of corruption in a way of,
Oh, they might look the other way if some kid runs out of a fucking liquor store with a beer. Yeah. Oh, a blight on the community, this.
Just like